And welcome back into TV 24 Primetime News. I'm Carl Brady. Chris Wright is here with me, and we are getting some reports in throughout the night of severe weather, tornado damage throughout the East Alabama area. And Chris, right now in Oxford, we can hear it raining very heavily outside our studios here. And we're gonna throw away our normal news format for this 10 o'clock segment here, and we're just gonna stay live with you and give you all the information that we've been able to gather about the weather and the weather damage. But Chris, right now, let's have a look at the radar and let us know kind of what's going on.
Let's take a look at the radar right now. We have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect right now. We'll get that up in a second, but for the areas that include Anniston, Oxford, Heflin, Fruithurst, I-20, and just a little bit north in Calhoun and Cleburne counties is a severe thunderstorm warning, and we're having a little trouble with the radar, but we'll get that figured out here. But we've seen we're having some technical difficulties here at the TV station as well with this storm that is continuing to move through. This is still a dangerous storm. So Anniston, Oxford, Heflin area, this is where we really need to be concerned right now. I think we've got the radar here that we can show here in just a second and take a look at where things are right now. So that storm is at this point down close to I-20. If you're driving along I-20, I don't guess anybody's watching us driving down I-20, but I don't need to be driving on I-20 right now in that area. Again, severe thunderstorm warning at this point, not tornado warnings like we had earlier. And we can go ahead and say that there is tornado damage in Jacksonville from images that we have seen.
Right.
It's a tornado and possibly two that actually hit Jacksonville. I've got a friend, we have confirmed information that there is strong, severe roof damage to Pete Matthews Coliseum.
Yeah.
We've seen reports online that Pete Matthews Coliseum is gone. It's not gone.
It's not gone, right.
The roof, though, is damaged. There is some severe damage to the roof. There's damage to businesses and buildings around there, apartments in the area. A friend of mine lives in an apartment right just down the road from Pete Matthews Coliseum. They had roof damage from a couple of weeks ago on the apartment building that still hasn't been fixed. He said he heard the sound of something being picked up and put back down.
Yeah, that was probably the roof being picked up and dropped back down. And I think we have a photo here that was sent to us from the Reserve Apartments in Jacksonville. And if you have any other photos that you can send in to us, you can send those to graphics at tv24.tv. And we'll be having some more photos for you as soon as people can get into the area. That's one of the problems that first responders are having throughout Jacksonville, throughout the South Side area as well. South Side and Rainbow City in Etowah County. We talked to the emergency management folks in Etowah County. They had significant damage in Southside and Rainbow City. They've had 30 reports of damage there, including reports of injuries that had to be taken to the hospital. The area in Rainbow City and Southside, Bluebird Lane, Leota Drive, Fred Drive, and Honeysuckle Lane. And first responders are having a difficult time getting into that area because of all the trees and power lines down. And so one of the main things that we need to always remind you is don't head up there. Don't try to get to these damaged areas to sightsee or anything like that. Emergency responders, this is still an active weather system, is still an active scene, and emergency responders are doing their best to get in to help people, and we don't need people getting in the way.
If you go to look, you could cost someone their life. Don't do it. I was talking with former Sheriff Emerson, Larry Emerson, former Sheriff of Calhoun County. He and his wife were in the basement while their home was being hit. Strong damage to their home. They're going to have a lot of water damage inside the home. They're okay. The current sheriff, Matthew Wade, has told me that numerous trees are down in Wellington, Pleasant Valley, and Nances Creek. Now, Ohatchee High School was opened as a shelter, but unfortunately, a lot of people may not be able to get to Ohatchee High School because we've got roads that are closed. Their 204 is closed at 431 because of power lines down.
Right, that's 204 between Highway 431 and Jacksonville, and it had to be closed because of trees and power lines down there. Going back to Ohatchee, there have been trees and power lines down in Ohatchee as well. I don't know about Highway 144, which is the main highway there through Ohatchee, but I know one of our employees has tried to get out from where his home is, and he can't get out of Ohatchee to get out to try to get some stuff tonight for you. But so Ohatchee has some damage. And we did hear, let's go back to Jacksonville for a second. We did hear directly from Athletic Director Greg Seitz at JSU confirming that there is roof damage at Pete Matthews Coliseum, but the social media posts that it's completely gone are totally wrong. But there is roof damage at Pete Matthews.
Let's pause for just a second to consider how fortunate we are. This is spring break for Jacksonville State University and for Jacksonville City Schools.
Right.
A lot of the people that would normally be in Jacksonville are not in Jacksonville, and also athletes from Jacksonville are out of town at some games in, I believe, Missouri.
In Missouri, in the tournament that the basketball team is playing in, and just in a fortuitous decision, that game, they originally thought they were going to play that game tonight at Pete Matthews Coliseum, but the decision was made a couple of days ago to do it in Missouri instead of at Pete Matthews Coliseum right now.
So blessings there, but we still may hear some bad news out of Jacksonville. We're going to show you a picture now. I believe we've got this ready. If you want to see, this is what hit Jacksonville.
There's the tornado. You can see it thanks to Blake Matson, who took this photo, sent it to us on Twitter.
That's
huge.
Ugly. That is not a small tornado. That is a very consequential tornado, and everywhere that touched, you're going to see some very significant damage, and that's why we're hearing terms like war zone being used to describe what Jacksonville looks like. So again, we've got people heading to Jacksonville. I know that Chief Bill Partridge from Oxford said that he was on his way with people to help out there.
Right.
Those kind of people, we want them in Jacksonville. People who are organized with the first responders, who are the first responders.
Exactly.
We don't want anybody else going and looking around. You want to try to touch base with anybody that you know that lives in Jacksonville, but don't try to go up there.
That's right. First responders from communities all over East Alabama are converging on these areas where the damage is and where there are injuries. So we need everyone to stay off the roads. The weather is still dangerous because of the severe thunderstorm warning that is still going on, and this system moving into Cleburne County and into parts of West Georgia as well. A quick note, the National Weather Service noted that the debris signature, if you're watching the radar can tell the difference between the rotation, the rain, the hail, and even the debris from a tornado. And the debris signature from the Jacksonville tornado at about 8:45 as it was hitting was registering as high as 15,000 feet in the air. So the Weather Service just based on that information says it was a very significant and tornadic hit there in Jacksonville.
That is not good news at all. So yeah, very, very damaging tornado, and we're hearing that there may be worse news than just damage.
Right.
So we're not going to report anything that we don't know, but certainly this is a life and death situation.
Yeah, and certainly difficult to confirm information at this point in time as well, because everything is still very chaotic right here in the immediate aftermath of the storm. We have been able to get through to some of our contacts and some people who have verified the information that we've been able to tell you, but there are other things that are not verified yet, and we'll pass along as soon as they are verified. Let's move up to Cherokee County for a moment. They were not without their troubles there in Cherokee County, as one of these storms that originally earlier in the night had come through northern Etowah County and Bluntsville over in the Aniana area up north of Aniana, northern Etowah County, southern DeKalb County into Cherokee County. And the folks at the Cherokee County EMA are reporting that there is some damage at the Grub Mart in the center. The roof was blown off of the Webb Concrete store on East Main Street in Center. There are multiple power outages throughout Cherokee County, as there are throughout Etowah, Cleburne, and Calhoun County at this hour as well. Reports of twisted trees in the Garrett's Bridge area, just south of Center. Twisted trees indicate that there was possibly some tornadic activity, or at least some rotation in that storm that went through that area. Otherwise, like I said, lots of trees, power outages, and flooding as well. We've had a lot of rain associated with this storm, so if you are out, if you're trying to get home, trying to get somewhere, and you run into an area of the road that's covered with water, you want to be extremely careful about that, because there is some flash flooding going on throughout the region as well. And
again, a reminder that this is an ongoing situation, not only responding to the damage in Jacksonville and other places, but also a storm that is currently, we can hear it hitting the roof here at the TV24 studios in Oxford. Anniston, Oxford, Heflin, Fruithurst, all these areas are currently under a severe thunderstorm warning. So obviously that's better than a tornado warning, but that could change at any point. So we're continuing to watch that.
Radar image. You want to take a look at that?
Yeah,
can we do that?
I think we can see the radar here, and you can see we're basically along I-20 from St. Clair County over to Atlanta. Really, we've got some strong storms. The folks in Atlanta are seeing, or in Georgia are seeing the worst of it at this point, but still severe weather affecting us here in Alabama as well, especially Anniston, Oxford, and Chocolatica, DeArmonville, and over into Heflin area, and the storms moving south over I-20 at this point. So that is an ongoing situation with severe weather right now.
And Gerhard Mathangani is working with us tonight and stepping away from his sports duties and helping us to confirm some additional information from Jacksonville. Regional paramedics have crews and ambulances all headed to Jacksonville at the request of the Calhoun County EMA for mutual aid. Downed power lines and trees by the old Kitty Stone Elementary School. A lot of water damage inside Pete Matthews Coliseum, and the fencing around the JSU soccer field has been blown down as well. So that's some new information that we can add to what we have for you tonight. 12 minutes past the hour of 10 o'clock right now. Let's take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back in a moment. A tragic weather night underway as we speak here in East Alabama. Carl Brady and Chris Wright with you live at TV24 as we are tracking the current storms that are moving through East Alabama. Currently a thunderstorm warning still in effect. The tornado warnings have expired, but we do have reports of tornadoes and damage in the Southside Rainbow City area of Etowah County, and some significant damage there, and some devastating tornado damage from the Jacksonville area and around the Jacksonville State University campus. We still have information coming in as we speak. We'll just reiterate some of this. Highway 204 between Highway 431 in Jacksonville is closed because of trees and power lines down across the road there. So if you're coming from 431 to 204, you cannot get to Jacksonville that way, and you don't need to be going to Jacksonville at any rate. They have requested first responders in Jacksonville have activated the mutual aid response. So emergency personnel and medical personnel from all over the region are descending on Jacksonville right now as we speak to help out in the torn up neighborhoods there in Jacksonville. And you may be able to hear it over our microphones here because the storm is so loud outside our studio right now. We're hearing thunder, and we're hearing sounds like hail on the roof right now as we speak. Chris, can you give us the latest?
Doesn't sound like the hail that hit earlier today.
Doesn't sound like the softball size hail that other places saw.
There's some really bad damage from some softball sized hail that hit in other parts of the state earlier today, and that's when we really knew we had a bad storm coming through. What we have right now, weather-wise, at this very moment, is a severe thunderstorm warning. Cleburne County no longer part of this warning, but until 10:45 we still have a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for northeastern Talladega and southeastern Calhoun counties. And this was for a storm that was located 3 minutes ago along a line extended from Fort McClellan to near Grantown, moving east at 50 miles an hour, and hail up to the size of a quarter, which can still do a lot of damage and can be dangerous to anybody who is outside. Hail damage to vehicles is expected. I hope you've got your vehicles in a garage if possible.
Ours are not.
We are expecting wind damage to roofs, siding, and trees from this storm that is moving through right now. And we're talking about Anniston, Oxford, Fort McClellan, Sachs, Weaver, Munford, Hobson City, Oxford Lake, Blue Mountain, Chocolaca, DeArmonville, Jennifer. All these communities are being affected by this severe thunderstorm that's moving through right now. As of right now, no indications of a tornado with this one, but
right.
You should assume that this storm is capable of producing a tornado. We still have the tornado watch until 11 o'clock.
Until 11 o'clock. These storms have a history of producing tornadoes, as we have already told you, and so that is still a possibility with these storms here as they move through the southern part of Calhoun County and into Cleburne County. And here we have another look at the tornado. This was
one of the tornadoes
that hit in the Jacksonville area earlier tonight around 8:45. Is about what time that storm system went through Jacksonville.
The first tornado was the biggest and most damaging, we believe, at this point, but there was a second tornado that came through. And again, if you've been on social media tonight, you've probably seen some things that are true and some things that are not true. There were reports all over social media that the Pete Matthews Coliseum is gone.
Right.
That's not true.
That's not true. Heavily damaged, but not gone.
We've got damage in that area, not just to the Pete Matthews Coliseum, but to other buildings in the area, apartments and some businesses and such. And right now we can just hear the hail coming down at the TV24 studios, and some of it sounds like typical sized hail, some of it sounds
like
large.
it's getting bigger.
Yeah.
Getting bigger.
So, don't go outside right now.
Right. I am not anxious to go see our cars after this.
No.
Out in the parking lot. That first tornado that hit Jacksonville actually started off in the Southside Rainbow City area, came through Ohatchee, north of Alexandria, came through Ohatchee, through the Wellington area, and then on into Jacksonville. I just got more information from one of our employees who lives in Ohatchee that he's trying to make it out to get some video and some photos for us, but he has not been able to get down Highway 144 to get to Highway 431, not able to get to Highway 431 to get out to get anything for us as of right now. So everyone should still be in their safe place and not trying to be out traveling right now.
Yeah, if you're in the Anniston, Oxford, Heflin area, be in a safe place right now, especially Anniston, Oxford, Chocolaca, DeArmonville, and all of this southeastern corner of Calhoun County. Unfortunately, Carl, we've delayed saying much about this because we wanted to make sure that we didn't say anything that wasn't confirmed, but we do know that there have been people at the very least injured from these storms today.
We do have confirmation of injuries in Jacksonville, and of course the mutual aid requested, and all of the emergency and medical personnel from around the area are making their way to Jacksonville right now. I understand we also we have a photo of Pete Matthews Coliseum. We have that up right now. There's from outside Pete Matthews Coliseum, you can see the tree damage there, and you can't see much about any of the other damage, but you can see trees damaged there.
I'm hearing
Pete Matthews
that
Coliseum.
My wife is an employee of Jacksonville State University, and she has passed along to me that apparently there is some significant water damage inside thanks to the damage to the roof that we knew about.
Exactly.
The floors are, they'll be very fortunate if those floors are salvageable. So that's some significant damage to Pete Matthews Coliseum. But again, the most significant thing is the confirmation of some injuries in the area, and we'll continue to monitor that and bring you any updates that we can there. We also know that schools for the Calhoun County school system are going to be closed tomorrow due to storm damage.
Right, we did hear that. Calhoun County schools will be closing tomorrow, and confirmation from the Etowah County EMA. They had told us earlier that there were some injuries in the Southside Rainbow City area, but there are still search and rescue missions ongoing and underway in the Etowah County area right now. So let's take another commercial break. We'll come back with some more information in a moment. Alabama today, as the storms are continuing here in East Alabama, moving from Calhoun County now into Cleburne County. Anniston and Oxford area still being hit pretty hard with a severe thunderstorm going on right now. Alabama Power has confirmed about 15,000 power outages, and 6,000 of those are in Calhoun County right now.
Currently, as far as warnings go, we've got the severe thunderstorm warning for the southern part of Calhoun County and northern part of Talladega County. That's till 10:45. And we've got another severe thunderstorm warning for the southern half of Cleburne County until 11 o'clock tonight. I think we've actually got some live footage that we can show now from outside the TV24 studios. So it's actually calmed down a little bit right now. A few minutes ago we were hearing some strong hail probably hitting those cars. I don't see any big dents or broken windshields, so that's good news.
That is good news. No broken windshields out there right now. But again, the major part of the information we want to pass along to you here in our last few minutes: power lines down, trees down. Numerous injuries confirmed in Jacksonville. Injuries also confirmed in Southside in Etowah County as that tornado came through there before heading on over to Jacksonville. Please do not go into any of these affected areas. Emergency personnel, mutual aid has been called, so the emergency personnel are going in from all over the area trying to get to Jacksonville to help out with the damage and with the injuries there. So please stay off the roads so that these emergency responders can get there. We told you that one of the sites damaged in Jacksonville was the Dollar General across the street from Pete Matthews Coliseum.
Ooh.
Some significant damage right there, as you can see at that Dollar General store. That is right across the street, just across Highway 204 from Pete Matthews Coliseum. And again, some severe, major roof damage at Pete Matthews Coliseum. Yeah. That is confirmed by JSU Athletic Director Greg Seitz, and lots of water damage inside as well.
Yeah, the roof is still, at least parts of it still there. As somebody tweeted out, said that they had been inside and seen it. They looked up, they didn't see stars. The roof is still there. Of course, you're not going to see stars tonight anyway, I don't think, but the roof is still there, but layers are missing and a lot of water damage inside. And speaking of water, Sheriff Matthew Wade, Calhoun County Sheriff, has mentioned that there is flooding on the Alexandria-Wellington Road near the elementary school. I'm sure that's not the only place that we've got flooding. If you can avoid being out on the roads tonight, please do that. There's going to be flooding in areas that you may not see. So you want to stay away from that as much as possible and stay inside and try to avoid that. But again, right now, the only counties that remain in the tornado watch are going to be Calhoun, Chilton, Clay, Cleburne, Coosa, Randolph, Shelby, St. Clair, and Talladega. Everywhere to the northwest of that is going to be in the clear at this point, but severe thunderstorm warning for parts of Calhoun and Talladega County, and also for Cleburne County right now.
All right, sounds good. And remember, Calhoun County schools have already announced they will be closed tomorrow because of these storms and all the damage and so many people being affected by these storms. So no school tomorrow for Calhoun County schools in the area. Remember, Highway 204 is closed between Highway 431 and Jacksonville, and there are travel problems on Highway 144 in the Ohatchee area, as well as the heavy rain. Folks, thanks for joining us tonight. We're going to turn you back over to your regular programming. Join us tomorrow night at 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock for TV24 Primetime News for all the latest information on tonight's weather.